Stoic lessons: start doing, stop waiting. Recognize the power of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of the present moment in taking action. In his Meditations, he wrote, "Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow. Be good for something while you live, and it is in your power." This profound statement reminds us that the only time we truly have is now. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the present is the only moment we can directly influence. Many people delay taking action because they are waiting for the right time. However, the Stoics believed that the right time is always now. The present moment is rich with potential, and every second wasted is an opportunity lost. By recognizing the power of the present, you empower yourself to take immediate action without hesitation or procrastination. This principle is echoed in the teachings of Epictetus, who said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" This question challenges us to stop waiting for external circumstances to align perfectly and to start making the most of the present moment. Waiting often leads to stagnation, while taking action propels us forward, even if the steps we take are small. In practical terms, recognizing the power of the present means making a commitment to start now. Whether it's a project you've been postponing, a conversation you've been avoiding, or a habit you've been neglecting, the time to act is now. By doing so, you align yourself with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature, which emphasizes the importance of action and progress. Additionally, embracing the present moment helps to reduce anxiety about the future. When you focus on what you can do now, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by thoughts of what might happen later. This focus on the present not only drives action, but also cultivates a sense of peace and clarity. In summary, recognizing the power of the present moment is the first step in taking action. It encourages you to stop waiting for the perfect time and to start doing what needs to be done now. This mindset shift is crucial for overcoming procrastination and living a life of purpose and fulfillment, as advocated by Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers. Understand the nature of procrastination. Procrastination is a common obstacle that prevents people from taking action. Understanding its nature is the first step toward overcoming it. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the ways in which we deceive ourselves into delaying what needs to be done. He wrote, "You could be good today, but instead, you choose tomorrow." This observation highlights the subtle ways in which procrastination can creep into our lives, often under the guise of waiting for the right moment or needing more time to prepare. Procrastination, from a Stoic perspective, is a form of self-deception. It is the mind's way of avoiding discomfort, uncertainty, or the fear of failure. However, by delaying action, we only increase our anxiety and diminish our ability to achieve our goals. The Stoics understood that procrastination is rooted in irrational fears and misplaced priorities, which is why they emphasized the importance of acting with urgency and intention. Socrates also warned against the dangers of procrastination, stating, "Beware the barrenness of a busy life." This quote suggests that procrastination isn't always about doing nothing. Sometimes it's about filling our time with trivial tasks to avoid confronting what truly matters. Understanding this helps us recognize when we are procrastinating and why. To combat procrastination, it's important to acknowledge the underlying fears or beliefs that are holding you back. Are you afraid of failure? Do you feel overwhelmed by the size of the task? Are you uncertain about where to begin? By identifying these obstacles, you can take steps to address them directly. For example, breaking a large project into smaller, manageable tasks can reduce feelings of overwhelm and make it easier to start. Additionally, it's helpful to remind yourself of the consequences of continued procrastination. Marcus Aurelius urged us to consider the fleeting nature of life and the limited time we have to fulfill our potential. Delaying action not only wastes time, but also diminishes our chances of achieving our goals. This sense of urgency can motivate us to push past procrastination and take meaningful steps toward our objectives. In conclusion, understanding the nature of procrastination is key to overcoming it. By recognizing it as a form of self-deception rooted in fear and avoidance, we can take proactive steps to address it. This awareness, combined with the Stoic emphasis on acting with urgency, empowers us to stop waiting and start doing, living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Embrace the Stoic concept of control. The Stoics placed great emphasis on the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This concept is central to taking action because it helps us focus our energy on what we can actually influence, rather than wasting time on things beyond our control. Procrastination often arises when we focus too much on external outcomes, such as the opinions of others, the potential for failure, or the uncertain future. These concerns can paralyze us, making us hesitant to take action. However, by embracing the Stoic concept of control, we can shift our focus to what truly matters: our own thoughts, decisions, and actions. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote reinforces the idea that our power lies in our response to circumstances, not in the circumstances themselves. When we internalize this principle, we are better equipped to take action, even in the face of uncertainty or adversity. In practical terms, embracing the Stoic concept of control means taking responsibility for your actions and decisions. It means recognizing that while you cannot control external events, you can control how you respond to them. This mindset encourages you to take action based on your values and principles, rather than being swayed by external factors that are beyond your control. For example, if you are facing a difficult decision, focus on the process rather than the outcome. Consider what you can do to make the best decision possible, based on the information available to you. Once you have made your decision, take action without worrying about the outcome. By doing so, you align yourself with the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within your control. This approach also helps to reduce anxiety and fear, which are common barriers to taking action. When you focus on what you can control, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by what you cannot. This clarity of mind allows you to act with confidence and purpose, even in challenging situations. In summary, embracing the Stoic concept of control is essential for taking action. It helps you focus your energy on what you can influence, while letting go of concerns about external factors. This shift in perspective empowers you to stop waiting and start doing, living a life that is guided by your values and principles. Cultivate the courage to act. Courage is one of the 4 cardinal virtues in Stoic philosophy, and it is essential for taking action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. For let your impulse be in your own power." This quote emphasizes the importance of aligning our actions with our values and having the courage to act on what we know to be right, even when it is difficult. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to act in spite of it. The Stoics believed that fear is a natural part of the human experience, but it should not be allowed to dictate our actions. Instead, they taught that we should confront our fears head-on and take action regardless of the discomfort or uncertainty we may feel. Aristotle also recognized the importance of courage, stating, "You will never do anything in this world without courage." It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. This quote highlights the idea that courage is a prerequisite for any meaningful action. Without it, we are likely to remain stuck in a state of inaction, paralyzed by our fears and doubts. In practical terms, cultivating courage means pushing yourself to take action, even when you feel afraid or uncertain. It means trusting in your own judgment and values, and not allowing fear to hold you back. This can be especially challenging in situations where the stakes are high, but it is precisely in these moments that courage is most needed. One way to cultivate courage is to practice small acts of bravery in your daily life. This could be something as simple as speaking up in a meeting, trying something new, or standing up for what you believe in. Each time you push yourself to act courageously, you build your capacity for bravery, making it easier to take bold actions in the future. It's also helpful to remind yourself that courage is a virtue that can be developed over time. The more you practice acting courageously, the more natural it will become. Over time, you will find that you are less affected by fear and more willing to take action in pursuit of your goals. In conclusion, cultivating the courage to act is essential for overcoming the inertia of inaction. By embracing courage as a core virtue, you empower yourself to take meaningful steps toward your goals, even in the face of fear or uncertainty. This courage, guided by your values and principles, is what enables you to stop waiting and start doing, living a life of purpose and integrity. Develop a bias toward action. The Stoics believed that action is the key to living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of taking action, writing, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This quote emphasizes the idea that it is not enough to merely think or talk about what is right. We must actively live it out through our actions. Developing a bias toward action means prioritizing doing over endless deliberation. It means recognizing that while careful planning and thought are important, they must eventually give way to action. The Stoics understood that life is short and that we must make the most of the time we have by taking decisive action in pursuit of our goals. Aristotle also recognized the importance of action, stating, "For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them." This quote underscores the idea that action is not only a means to an end, but also a crucial part of the learning process. By taking action, we gain experience, refine our skills, and grow in wisdom and virtue. In practical terms, developing a bias toward action means adopting a mindset that prioritizes doing over excessive thinking. It means recognizing when you are overthinking or procrastinating and pushing yourself to take the first step, even if it's a small one. This bias toward action helps to break the cycle of inaction and propels you forward toward your goals. One way to cultivate this bias is to set clear and actionable goals for yourself. Rather than getting caught up in abstract ideas or endless planning, focus on specific, tangible steps you can take each day. This could be as simple as making a phone call, writing an email, or completing a task you've been avoiding. Each action, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. It's also helpful to adopt a "just do it" mentality. When faced with a decision or a task, ask yourself, "What can I do right now?" This simple question can help you move from thinking to doing, breaking the inertia of inaction. Over time, this mindset shift will make it easier to take action in all areas of your life. In conclusion, developing a bias toward action is essential for living a life of purpose and virtue. By prioritizing doing over thinking, you empower yourself to make progress toward your goals and to live in accordance with your values. This proactive approach, rooted in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers, helps you stop waiting and start doing, living a life of meaning and fulfillment. Align actions with your values. One of the key principles in Stoic philosophy is the alignment of actions with values. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This quote reflects the Stoic belief that our actions should always be guided by our core values and principles, not by external pressures or fleeting desires. Taking action is not just about doing something, it's about doing the right thing. The Stoics believed that virtue is the highest good and that our actions should reflect our commitment to living a virtuous life. This means that before taking any action, we should consider whether it aligns with our values and whether it contributes to our growth as moral beings. Aristotle also emphasized the importance of living in accordance with one's values, stating, "Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts." This quote highlights the idea that our actions shape our character, and that by consistently acting in line with our values, we cultivate moral excellence. In practical terms, aligning actions with values means taking the time to reflect on your core beliefs and principles. What do you stand for? What do you believe is right and just? By clarifying your values, you can ensure that your actions are consistent with them. This not only gives you a clear sense of direction, but also strengthens your resolve to act with integrity. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, does this action align with my values? Is it in line with the person I want to be? By making these questions a part of your decision-making process, you ensure that your actions are not only effective, but also ethical. This alignment between actions and values is what gives life meaning and purpose. Moreover, acting in accordance with your values builds trust and respect, both in yourself and in others. When people see that you are consistent in your actions and that you live by your principles, they are more likely to trust and respect you. This, in turn, creates a positive feedback loop, where your commitment to your values reinforces your ability to take decisive and meaningful action. In summary, aligning your actions with your values is a fundamental principle in Stoic philosophy. It ensures that your actions are not only effective, but also ethical, and that they contribute to your growth as a virtuous individual. By making this alignment a priority, you empower yourself to take action that is both purposeful and principled, living a life of integrity and fulfillment. Break down your goals. Large goals can often feel overwhelming, leading to procrastination and inaction. Marcus Aurelius understood the importance of breaking down tasks into manageable steps. He wrote, "No man can do wrong who takes care to do what lies before him with due consideration." This quote emphasizes the value of focusing on the task at hand, rather than becoming overwhelmed by the magnitude of a larger goal. The Stoics believed that by concentrating on the present moment and the immediate task, we can make steady progress toward our larger objectives. This approach not only reduces feelings of overwhelm, but also builds momentum, as each small step taken brings you closer to your goal. Aristotle also advocated for this approach, stating, "Well begun is half done." This quote highlights the importance of taking that first step and recognizing that breaking down a task into smaller parts makes it more manageable. By doing so, you set yourself up for success, as each small victory reinforces your motivation and confidence. In practical terms, breaking down your goals means identifying the smaller tasks that make up the larger objective. For example, if your goal is to write a book, start by outlining the chapters, then focus on writing one chapter at a time. By tackling these smaller tasks, you make the overall goal less daunting and more achievable. This approach also helps you maintain focus and discipline. When you break down your goals into smaller steps, you create a clear roadmap for achieving them. This clarity makes it easier to stay on track and to measure your progress along the way. It also allows you to celebrate small victories, which can boost your motivation and keep you moving forward. Additionally, breaking down your goals helps to identify potential obstacles early on. By planning out the smaller steps, you can anticipate challenges and address them before they become major roadblocks. This proactive approach aligns with the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, where you prepare for potential difficulties in advance. In conclusion, breaking down your goals is a practical and effective strategy for overcoming inaction and making steady progress. By focusing on smaller, manageable tasks, you reduce feelings of overwhelm and build momentum toward achieving your larger objectives. This approach, rooted in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle, empowers you to stop waiting and start doing, one step at a time. Overcome perfectionism. Perfectionism is a common barrier to taking action. The fear of making mistakes or not doing something perfectly can lead to paralysis, where we become so focused on achieving perfection that we end up doing nothing at all. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Let your impulse be in your own power." This quote encourages us to focus on what is within our control, our actions, rather than being obsessed with achieving perfection. The Stoics believed that striving for excellence is important, but they also recognized that perfection is an unrealistic and unattainable standard. Instead of aiming for perfection, the Stoics advocated for progress and continuous improvement. By focusing on doing your best in the present moment, you can take action without being held back by the fear of imperfection. Aristotle also addressed the issue of perfectionism, stating, "The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." This quote suggests that the pursuit of perfection is a never-ending journey, and that the more we strive for it, the more we realize how elusive it is. This awareness can help us to let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on taking meaningful action. In practical terms, overcoming perfectionism means allowing yourself to take action even when the outcome is not perfect. It means recognizing that mistakes are a natural part of the learning process and that they provide valuable opportunities for growth and improvement. By accepting imperfection, you free yourself from the paralysis of perfectionism and empower yourself to take action. One way to overcome perfectionism is to set realistic expectations for yourself. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. Focus on making incremental improvements rather than trying to achieve flawless results. This mindset shift can help you take action more confidently and consistently. It's also helpful to remind yourself that perfection is subjective, and that what matters most is the effort you put into your actions. By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, you can take action with a sense of purpose and fulfillment, knowing that you are doing your best in each moment. In conclusion, overcoming perfectionism is crucial for taking action. By letting go of the unrealistic standard of perfection, you free yourself to take meaningful steps toward your goals. This approach, rooted in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle, empowers you to stop waiting and start doing, embracing progress over perfection. Cultivate resilience in the face of failure. Failure is an inevitable part of life, but it should not be a reason to stop taking action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote reflects the Stoic belief that obstacles and setbacks are not just challenges to be overcome. They are opportunities for growth and development. The Stoics taught that failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as a natural part of the journey toward success. Every failure is a chance to learn, to improve, and to build resilience. By viewing failure in this way, you can approach challenges with a mindset of growth and perseverance, rather than being discouraged or disheartened. Aristotle also recognized the importance of resilience, stating, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." This quote suggests that resilience involves the ability to hold space for failure and setbacks without being defined or defeated by them. It's about maintaining a balanced perspective and continuing to take action, even in the face of adversity. In practical terms, cultivating resilience means developing the mental and emotional strength to persevere through difficulties. It means accepting that failure is a part of the process and that it does not diminish your worth or potential. By embracing failure as a learning opportunity, you can continue to take action with confidence and determination. One way to cultivate resilience is to reframe your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing it as a sign of inadequacy, view it as valuable feedback that can guide your future actions. Each failure provides insights into what works and what doesn't, helping you to refine your approach and move closer to your goals. It's also important to practice self-compassion in the face of failure. Be kind to yourself and recognize that everyone experiences setbacks. By treating yourself with understanding and patience, you can bounce back from failure more quickly and continue to take action with renewed vigor. In conclusion, cultivating resilience in the face of failure is essential for maintaining momentum and progress. By viewing failure as an opportunity for growth, you empower yourself to continue taking action, no matter the obstacles. This resilient mindset, championed by Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle, helps you to stop waiting and start doing, turning setbacks into stepping stones on the path to success. Embrace the power of incremental progress. The journey toward achieving your goals is often long and challenging, but the Stoics believed in the power of small, consistent efforts. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." This quote underscores the importance of being fully present and giving your best effort in every action, no matter how small. The Stoic approach to incremental progress is rooted in the understanding that great achievements are the result of countless small steps taken over time. By focusing on making steady progress each day, you build momentum and create a cumulative effect that leads to significant outcomes. Aristotle also emphasized the value of consistent effort, stating, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This quote highlights the idea that excellence and success are not achieved through grand gestures or occasional efforts, but through the daily practice of taking small, purposeful actions. In practical terms, embracing incremental progress means setting realistic, achievable goals for yourself each day. Rather than focusing solely on the end result, break your goal down into small tasks that you can accomplish step by step. Each completed task brings you closer to your goal and reinforces your commitment to taking action. This approach also helps to build confidence and motivation. When you see yourself making progress, even if it's just a small step forward, you gain a sense of accomplishment that fuels your desire to keep going. This positive reinforcement creates a virtuous cycle where each small success leads to greater determination and effort. Additionally, embracing incremental progress allows you to be patient with yourself and the process. The Stoics taught that life is unpredictable and that we cannot control everything that happens. However, we can control our actions and our attitude. By focusing on what you can do today, rather than worrying about the distant future, you stay grounded and empowered to take meaningful action. In conclusion, embracing the power of incremental progress is a key principle in Stoic philosophy. By taking small, consistent steps toward your goals, you build momentum, confidence, and resilience. This approach, rooted in the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle, empowers you to stop waiting and start doing, one step at a time, ultimately leading to a life of purpose and fulfillment. Incorporating these Stoic principles into your daily life can transform the way you approach your goals. By embracing action, aligning with your values, breaking down tasks, and overcoming barriers like perfectionism and fear of failure, you build resilience and develop a mindset of growth and purpose. Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle remind us that life is short, and the time to act is now. Every small step, taken with intention and consistency, brings you closer to living a life of virtue, fulfillment, and achievement. Stop waiting, start doing, and let these teachings guide you on your journey.